Hey everyone, Chris Kirsten with the Savory Institute here. I'm with Brian Mayer in Manhattan at Fleischer's Butchery. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself and the shop and how things are going.
Sure. So I'm Brian. I'm the director of butchery education here at Fleischer's. Fleischer's been around since 2004 with our first shop in Kingston, New York. We now have 5 shops. Our original Kingston shop, Park Slope, Upper East Side, and 2 in Connecticut, where we practice the craft of whole animal butchery. We bring in whole sides, beef, sheep, goat, chicken, hogs, of course, and then have a really great, knowledgeable clientele that are looking for really great meats.
Yeah, I've been fans of what you guys are doing for a long time. And in light of the Savory Institute's Consumer Revolution campaign that we've been running and the media that we've been producing, I wanted to come and talk to you guys today and talk a little bit about, if I'm a new consumer, a new customer, new to the concept of grass-fed meat, what kind of things should I be looking for?
Sure. So I will say that the grass-fed beef shopper is a really knowledgeable shopper. They have a ton of information, they've done their homework. So we don't really, I think we answer a lot more questions for the grass-fed beef shopper. One of the main ones is it really 100% grass-fed? And because of certain things being rolled back and not having as much oversight, they really want to make sure that the animals that they're eating are 100% grass-fed.
And to clarify that, the USDA has dropped their certification of grass-fed.
Sure.
So it's no longer managed by the USDA, but really only third parties.
Yeah.
So that's what you're referencing there.
Yeah. I know that wasn't full of loopholes to begin with.
Right.
So, but it's the best we have, and that's what we can do. But I think one of the conventional shopper is the one that is somebody that we really have to spend time with and work with and to talk to them about why they should choose grass-fed and why it's a better choice for them, their health, for clearly the animal, and absolutely the environment.
Sure. And for those that visited our conference, they know that we at the Savory Institute have been working on a certification and a verification procedure to quantify land health improvement. So that ties in beautifully with what you guys are doing, and those consumers can then utilize that data to go, wow, I'm making a really good choice, and they actually know how well they're doing based on the decisions of meat that they're buying. So this is really exciting. If they're coming in, what kind of cuts do you recommend people look for? What are some of your favorites? What are some of the best? And then how do people start integrating, cooking fresh meat back into their lifestyle?
Sure. We advocate eating around the animal, right? So an animal is a beef carcass is more than just steaks. There's a ton of stuff on there. Obviously, there's a lot of what we call trim that gets turned into ground. That is ground beef, for burgers, for chili, for just about anything you want to make. Meatloaf.
Ground beef's about as versatile as it gets. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a lot of it on the animal after you do your butchering, and as well as bones. So bones are stock.
Sure.
One of my favorite parts is the shoulder and the neck area. And again, grass-fed beef has a ton of flavor already, just because number one, it's going to be alive longer, so it means it's going to be moving around a lot more and really working those muscles. And it's also going to pick up the flavor of the grasses that it's eating based on its geography. So, cattle raised in the Northeast, cattle raised in the South, out West, Midwest, it's all going to taste slightly different, which is kind of cool because that's where the whole terroir will play into it, just like cheese, just like wine.
Right. So
it's kind of a really neat selling point not to have this sort of like homogenous sort of like just tasting sort of thing.
Right.
So the shoulder, so things like chuck steaks, which are wonderful, Denver steaks, which is the serratus muscle that comes off of there as well, and just braising the whole beef necks is really awesome.
Sure.
For tacos or something like that.
I sold grass-fed meat for a long time, and you can sell ribeyes all day long. You can sell New Yorks all day long.
They're like the Hondas of meat.
That's right. That's right. But the chuck roll, there's some amazing things happening in the chuck roll. A chuck steak is incredible. If you don't mind a little bit more fat in there, flavor. Sure. Chuck roll is incredible.
Well, this is the reason why you buy a ribeye. And the fact that it's a versatile muscle, whereas it can be braised, it can be smoked, you can slice it into steaks and cook it like a pan steak. You can do so many different things. And because we take the utmost care from, obviously, when the animal's alive, to when the animal's slaughtered, to our handling of it when we get it here, how long we hang the carcasses for, and sort of letting the natural enzymes do do their thing with adding taste and adding tenderness. So we can really take something that wasn't necessarily sought after before and really showcase it to our customers as a cut that's a nice sort of alternative, and certainly a less expensive alternative to something like we buy.
Sure. Hey, explain a little bit that dry aging process. What is that?
It's just a sort of a reaction that happens when you take a piece of meat, you put it up on the shelf under very specific temperature and humidity conditions where you'll have a natural enzymatic reaction happening inside the meat. Amino acids are developing flavors, and those flavor profiles can be like cheesy notes or nutty notes or all sorts of things that are really adding to the flavor. On top of that, moisture is evaporating, breaking down those muscle fibers as well. So you're going to tenderize, you're going to add more flavor. But you know, in my personal opinion, grass-fed beef has such great natural flavor that I know I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I don't really like dry aging it in that way. I like, you know, obviously the hanging of the carcass after slaughter and allowing those enzymatic reactions to happen from there is great, but I really like the taste of grass-fed beef when it's not aged for any sort of significant time.
And as a local butcher, you can really highlight each piece of meat for exactly what it should be, really take it to its pinnacle of performance. What other benefits do shoppers get from coming into a local shop like this and building a relationship with their local butcher?
Sure. So, I mean, you know, first and foremost, they know the provenance of the animal, so they know our relationship with the butcher, with the farmer, they know our relationship with the slaughterhouse. They know that they're going to be able to get things that they wouldn't be able to get from a supermarket. So they can get bones, they can buy fat, you know, so they'll render fat that they can use to cook with. We know that animal fats and a few other oils like olive oil and coconut oil are really, really healthy fats to cook with, so they can get that stuff. They can get bones to make their own stock. And obviously, if they're buying larger cuts, there's a cost savings there as well, because obviously the more work you do on something, the more expensive it can be. So when you're buying larger format cuts and then using the fat in the bone as well, that reduces your need to go to the supermarket, buy stock, or buy oil, fat, or something like that.
If you could kind of leave us with one message that you wanted to leave to those, the massive population, those conventional meat shoppers that are out there, what would you say to them?
Yeah, we started in 2004. We started as a butcher shop, but me and my colleague developed the butcher training program. And so what we wanted to do was teach people how to be butchers so they could go out and open butcher shops or run restaurants where they brought in whole animals. And so we create the demand for it, and hopefully we can lower that cost just by there being that many more of us. And you can see it every year. There's more and more butcher shops opening. There's more and more restaurants that are starting to work with whole animals.
So you see that as an advantage, not training the competition, but rather building that economy of scale in the system.
Sure, because it's all about what we can do in a particular neighborhood, in a particular geographical location, in a region, you know? And so I think the best sort of, the best remedy for this is to have butcher shops and restaurants that work within the confines of their local and regional farmers and producers and buy that product. And obviously, you know, within that neighborhood, you can't serve the entire city. We can't serve the entire city, you know. So I think I really believe there's room for everyone.
So it's intentional decentralization.
Yeah, absolutely. Our farmers do a really great job in raising these animals. The utmost care is taken in their life, and it tastes really great. It has just a really great natural flavor, and I think that people should be able to experience that, and to again experience how things taste from different geographical locations.
And get the benefits of your guys' knowledge, be able to learn how to cook it and what to do with it, and to build a relationship with people and community, all happening right here in their local neighborhood, their local butcher shop, or their local farmer's market, or whatever.
Absolutely. So they're going to come in and they're going to buy a piece of meat, and our butchers are going to help them through every step of the process. They're going to answer all their questions in terms of how the animal was raised. They're going to butcher for them exactly the way they want to butcher. And for customers that aren't sure how to cook something, or they're being introduced to a new cut, they're going to get ideas on how to cook it. Nobody's going to leave here with me without knowing how to cook something.
That's awesome. I don't know why everyone doesn't do it. Pleasure to be here, Brian. Thank you so much. I've been a fan of you guys for a long time.
Awesome. Thanks for
being with us.
Yeah. Thank you.